Hey everybody, I just wanted to pop in real quick and I wanted to share something that's on my mind, specifically for the ladies. And for all my ladies out there who come across this, I just want you to know how much of a prize you are. Cause girl, I was talking to, so I was at work and I struck up a conversation with this older woman and we were just chopping it up back and forth. And I said, because she had mentioned how when she bought the house with her husband, I said, wow, you all been in this house for 50 years? How long y'all been married? She said, oh, 57. And I was fascinated. So I was just like, okay. So we had, because she did sign up for my lead sheet. But after that, I was just asking her questions. I was just like, okay, do you have any words of wisdom or advice for a marriage that can last that long? And I said, because I just got married, and I told her how long I was, and she was just like, oh, you're like, you brand new. And I was like, yeah. And she said, it's work. Marriage takes work, and it's intentional. And then we started talking about some other stuff, and she was talking about her daughter. Unfortunately, her daughter's husband passed away, and apparently he'd been gone for a minute now. And she was just talking about like getting back to the dating scene and things like that. And I was just like, you know what? Most men, because this is what she said, her daughter had told her at her job, a lot of the women who are either divorced or widows, all of them still single, and they don't want to get remarried. Then I told her, I said, you know what? I've noticed that a lot of widowers get remarried, but a lot of widows don't. And I quoted that from, if you guys are familiar with the Perrys, Jackie Hill Perry said that. If you haven't seen that episode, go back and watch it. But it was a Q&A, and somebody had asked her if anything happened to Preston, would she get remarried again? And she was like, absolutely not. And of course, Preston entered the conversation, and he was like, men need help. Men just need help. And the lady I was talking to was just shaking her head like, yeah. And then I told her, I said, men don't know how to be alone. They really don't. They really don't. And so, like, this stuff is not just coming to me based off of this conversation. I noticed this when I was working at TSA years ago. And I always noticed that when a dude came through, it just came to me one day. Somebody was walking through, some dude was walking through, and I was like, there's a woman. I bet you there's a woman. There's always a woman. And, lo and behold. And I've noticed that even when I worked at the mall, I noticed that most of the time dudes would not come up in there by themselves. If they were by themselves, they were in and out. It was real quick. They were walking to their destination and then they left. Most of the time, they were with their woman or with their kids or with their crew. But they were never alone. But most of the time, it was always a woman. So I'm saying this to say, ladies, you are the favor, and that's biblical. God said, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor from the Lord. Men don't know how to operate without us. So I want this to encourage some young lady is going to watch this. And if you're in a situation where you feel like you got to struggle, you have to strive, you have to work to get his attention. You got to do all of this and make yourself up. And you have to, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with looking nice, but I'm saying if you feel like you have to it's so much effort to get his attention and to keep his attention. If he doesn't love you for who you are with the wrong man. And I would encourage you to recognize how valuable you are and then leave that situation. Let him know. If you really feel like that, you should just tell him. Tell him straight up, you know what? I don't feel like I can be myself around you. And if you don't like what it really is, who I really am, I don't think we should see each other no more. But I know a lot of times women think that they have to perform and they have to be the finest woman in the world and they have to have the perfect body and they have to have flawless makeup and all this stuff. Girl, if it take all of that just to get him to smile at you and say, oh, you look nice, I would highly encourage you to double think that. He's probably not it. Matter of fact, scratch that. He ain't it. He's not it. And if he is it, he needs time to mature and grow up. And maybe y'all just need to take a break. But hey, seek the Lord about it. But I'm telling you from experience and from wisdom, you should not have to work that hard to keep a man's attention. You should not have to work that hard to get a man's attention. And disclaimer, you shouldn't even be trying to chase a man. That's his job. You are the favor. God said that. So when you see this video, just remember this. Any man who approaches you has a privilege to approach you and potentially be with you. You're so much more valuable than you think. It's ridiculous. It's not even funny. But girl, men can't function without us. They really can't. They need help. Preston was right when he said that. Men don't know how to be alone. In fact, God said that man needed a helpmate. So, girl, relax. You're the favor. You're the one with the highest value. Or you're the one with the high value. So, hey, don't stress and just be yourself. All right. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next one.